are several reasons you're going to be starting your narrative essay out with a summary statement, which you can name a number of different things, which we'll go over in a second. The main reason is so that you can demonstrate in this short introductory section of about 150 to 200 words exactly what the stage, the motif, the voice, the perspective, the point of view, and the theme of the story are in that little section, so that I can see evidence that you have studied all of the modules for this assignment. Let's take a look at those requirements together. When you begin your story, you'll add a section just under the title and the title image. You can call it prologue, summary, once upon a time, in the beginning, it was a normal day until, whatever suits you. This statement is about 150 to 200 words. Some of you in advanced courses have written abstracts prior to your expository essays. This is the same kind of thing, only it's very creative and serves a bit of a different purpose in that it paints more of a color picture for your reader. The statement is also that sets the tone for the narrative, the voice. You're going to start by describing the world of the story, the weather, the scene, the characters necessary to set the stage. In other words, you're going to create the motif of the story. Then this narrative, the tone, is it dark and mysterious, light and youthful, suspicious and grim, feminine, romantic, gritty and earthy? Set the tone with the descriptive words and phrases. Remember that color exercise from week 1? This is where that comes in mighty handy. You're going to paint a picture for the reader to see and get excited about and want to read further. Set the point of view. Whose story is this? What's the voice? Do you have a narrator or an omniscient narrator voice? What's the slant or the bias of the story? Am I supposed to love this protagonist and hate the antagonist? Sometimes my protagonist might be a naughty boy or a naughty girl. And what if my protagonist does some little illegal things? Am I supposed to still sympathize with that protagonist? This is where you're going to set the voice for your story. Is there something I should look at for danger? This is all foreshadowing in the plot point, and set your reader and know where you're headed without giving away details of the story. This is setting the stage. Then end with a cliffhanger that makes the reader want to carry on and learn what happens. Let's look at my summary statement for the rodeo clown story that I've been using throughout this module. So instead of using the word summary page or once upon a time or whatever, I'm going to use it all started on a humid hot day, Sunday in 1962, when Charlie Patterson arrived at Sweetwater Memorial Hospital in the great state of Texas, West Texas to be exact. From the day he was born, Charlie was rough, tough, and hard to bluff. Now, Sweetwater was known for 2 things, the Rattlesnake Roundup and Circle P Rodeo. Take your pick. The Circle P was nothing more than a dirt circle with a few run-down bleachers. Oh, what does it want me to do? Run-down bleachers around the perimeter. But for Texans, the excitement of the rodeo echoed great jousting tournaments of the Middle Ages. Instead of lords and ladies, cowboys and cowgirls met, fell in love, and found full lifetime of fulfillment at the rodeo. That's where Brenda, a wide-eyed tomboy with long red braids and freckled nose, met Charlie, the true love of her life. Charlie, who scarcely noticed her existence. Some folks from Abilene say that the most important participants at the rodeo are the rodeo clowns, sometimes called bullfighters, who step in and keep the riders from danger. Placing themselves in the direct path of the raging bull or out-of-control horse, the rodeo clowns face the wild animals square in the jaw. What comes next? Breathtaking excitement is what? This is Charlie's story as he moves from knighthood to disgrace, from hero to buffoon. All abandoned Charlie in the end, save the one true love who never left his side. How does his story go? Read on and strap in, because it's one heck of a ride. And we go on from here, right? So we'll move on to Chapter 1. Now each one of my chapters begins with where we are, and then we go in with the story. All right? So that's my little 207-word summary statement, which I, for this purposes, call It All Started. Sometimes I might use Once Upon a Time. Sometimes I might use who knows what. All right? That's it. That concludes this tutorial.